This presentation is about the use of just-in-time teaching in the K-12 setting. Just-in-time teaching is intended primarily for mature learners, older learners. It requires authentic effort outside the classroom, and therefore, to use it in the K-12 environment, we're going to have to modify it a bit. The issues here, and there are quite a few in implementing the K-12, involve this. In K-12, study outside the classroom is called homework, the bane of kids and parents everywhere. In the past 10 years, a plethora of studies have been done to show that homework is, quote, ruining our kids. As a result, the trend is that fewer and fewer teachers are assigning homework. Some schools even have a no homework policy. As I have seen in my own classroom, students now lack the discipline and structure needed for out-of-classroom work. This creates a problem when using just-in-time teaching. As just-in-time teaching requires that the learner be self-regulating to some degree, younger students, those in the K-6 schools, are not yet at a point in their cognitive development to respond to the formative assessment questions that would be part of JiT. Maybe by grades 5 and 6, students would be ready. The daily meeting schedule of K-12 schools would make just-in-time assignments difficult for teachers to use every day. There aren't enough hours in any day for a classroom teacher to read 30 to 100 responses and react to them effectively. The use of just-in-time would have to be limited to a reasonable schedule. So, study outside the classroom would have to be rebranded as something other than homework, and daily meeting schedules and teacher-student ratios would require abbreviated use of just-in-time in middle and high school setting. The challenges that we face are that just-in-time is more than a teaching tip or strategy. It's a pedagogical paradigm shift in how we formatively assess students in order to improve instruction. The technology involved initially adds a layer of complexity, and it requires more work on the part of the teacher on the front end of instruction. The challenges involved here are that the training of students to adapt to having more responsibility outside of the classroom, ensuring equal access to technology and internet outside of school for all students, parental support of a different kind of homework, and finally, currently there's very little research available that is branded K-12. But the opportunities for the use of just-in-time teaching are substantial. Authentic learning in middle and high schools could be greatly improved by incorporating just-in-time as an instructional model. Not only would the quality and depth of learning increase, but students would develop better study habits and higher order thinking skills. Just-in-time teaching can be a strategy used to create and mold self-regulated learners. Students who are prepared for class participate more in class. I know there are many studies confirming this, but I also know it from experience in the classroom. When they are more engaged, students are in a growth mindset and more receptive to learning. So to sum it, the use of JiT in the classroom offers these opportunities. It can aid in improving authentic learning, contribute to development of self-regulated learners, increase classroom participation through student preparedness, and absolutely would improve student study habits. For best practice, there's not much literature out there on how to use JiT in the K-12 environment because the methods and strategies are targeted to older learners. However, as students should be able to participate in classrooms or workplace environments that will use JiT, it's a good idea to begin the process of training them in the methods. It would not be a stretch, as it involves teaching for higher order thinking. That's what we should be doing. The primary training would be to incorporate web-based technologies in their formative assessments. The teacher would then overtly model the use of the feedback. Students would begin to see and realize that this feedback is authentic, it's valued, and it's useful. Not much, if not all of this work would be done in the classroom for K-5. In the middle grades, periodic out-of-classroom responses using the web-based feedback would begin. Finally, in the upper levels, honors and AP classes, in honors and AP classes, the collegiate model would be introduced as these students would be expected to have greater responsibilities for out-of-classroom work. So, in K-5, we'd begin teaching the use of web-based feedback in the class. In the middle grades, we'd introduce periodic out-of-class feedback assignments, and in the high school level, we'd develop skillful use of web-based feedback assignments. There is a place for just-in-time teaching in the K-12 setting, but it must be modified in order to optimize its effectiveness. Thanks for listening.